The Pirates are back in action on this Saturday afternoon from Wrigley Field in Chicago. It's the Pirates and the Cubs as the Pirates look to even the series here in Chicago in this divisional game. And the way it ended yesterday was a little hairy, but the Pirates try to carry this one here this afternoon. Welcome into the booth. Joe Block and John Wayner with you here today as the Pirates trying to get things going offensively, defensively, bullpen. It's been a lot of different things that haven't gone well for the Pirates. One of the moves the Pirates trying to make, Clint Hurdle, is dropping Josh Bell out of the cleanup spot in the order. He'll bat sixth today. And really over the last 20 games, the Pirates have moved from alone in first now down to fourth place, and they're just trying to find some answers right now.
Yeah, things just haven't really synced up for this team over the last few weeks now. 6 straight series losses, 15 of 20 overall, below 500 for the first time. The offense, which was so good the first month and a half of the season, has struggled a little bit. The ERA towards the bottom third now. The bullpen has been a struggle. So, you know, it's so many different things. You have the lead, you can't hold it. You know, you get some good offense, you don't get good enough pitching, and vice versa. So hopefully they can get that rectified sooner than later.
Yeah, and in those 15 losses, 8 of them have been decided by 1 or 2 runs. That was the case yesterday. And the Pirates rookie bullpenners with Santana and Neverauskas, well, they at least kept him in the ballgame yesterday.
You know, Santana has done such a nice job, especially inheriting runners and getting out of the jam. Had a couple good change-ups to get La Stella to end that inning. And Neverauskas may be the best I've seen him pitch at the big league level. I think everything was working for him. He had some nasty breaking balls to go with that high 90s fastball. 6 up, 6 down for him. So those are some encouraging signs.
And some of the other things that we're picking out to try to see what's been going right for the Pirates. Josh Harrison, who is not with the club today for personal reasons, excused, but he's been atop the order, and since he's returned, he's done well. And of course, Austin Meadows, one of the top rookies since he's been called up.
Well, maybe that move, taking Bell out of the cleanup spot, has to do with these guys are getting on base. That's what you want. Your guys hitting first and second in the lineup, get on base. Harrison's done a nice job. Meadows has been incredible since his recall. Now you need guys to consistently come through in those situations where you have runners in scoring position.
And Meadows will be in the lineup against the lefty Lester today. He's done very well against left-handed pitching. And Francisco Cervelli, he's been a highlight all season long. And we talk about what he's done at the plate. How about what he did behind it yesterday?
Boy, very impressive. He's been throwing the ball a lot better. I think this year he's been more accurate. He's been getting rid of it very quickly. These 2 throws from his knees, I mean, right on target. Inning double play there. Strike him out, throw him out. But the throw right on the money. Mercer just has to catch it and wait for Zobrist to slide into his glove. Very impressive stuff from Francisco.
And he'll be catching Nick Kingham here this afternoon. And Kingham will sit down with Robbie Inspikowski. His first time at Wrigley Field. They'll chat next when we return here on AT Sportsnet.
by T-Mobile. Show your military appreciation and use hashtag HatsOffForHeroes. T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post. And by the law firm of Bordas & Bordas. Bordas & Bordas, fighting for justice. Let's go Bucks!
There are not a lot of better ways to spend a Saturday afternoon in June than watching a little baseball at iconic Wrigley Field. It's the Buccos and the Pirates in Game 2 of a 3-game weekend set at Wrigley Field. I'm Robbie Mikowski. First pitch is coming your way in just a couple moments between the Cubs and the Bucks. Nick Kingham is going to make the start this afternoon for the first time at Wrigley Field. He dazzled in his big league debut, almost tossing a perfect game at PNC Park. And he's put together a pretty good body of work since then. We get a look at his last couple starts on Sunday. He picked up the loss. He gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings. And look at his last start against the Cubs, a no decision in 5 2/3 innings pitched and 3 earned runs surrendered. This is the first time he's going to make a start at Wrigley Field. And I asked him yesterday, Nick, what's this going to be like for you pitching at one of the most famous venues in the history of sports?
It's going to be no different. I'm going to think the same, man. It's really a treat to come here. It's something special. Like you said, it's one of the most iconic icons in all of baseball and all of sports. So to come here, just to be in this clubhouse that some of the greats have walked through, Meadows of Sammy, Babe Ruth's come through here, that's just mind-blowing to me. So it's just cool to be here and for the first time and just taking it all in.
Yeah, when you mentioned taking it all in, I mean, how have you been able to take this whole thing in when you see new ballparks for the first time? You're pitching in the big leagues for the first time this season. What has this experience been like for you?
Just kind of overwhelming at times, but at the same time, it's cool. It's exciting. It's fun. It's new, so it's exciting to come see new things all the time. The guys are just showing me around, like, hey, wait till you get to here, wait till you see this. So it's kind of something to look forward to on top of just the new city and it's the new ballpark and everything. But it's really fun. I'm enjoying the heck out of it, and I can't wait to do more.
Part of it is facing a friend of yours who you've known for over a decade, talking about Chris Bryant, the former MVP, one of the best players in the game of baseball. What's the experience been like facing one of your good friends from your hometown of Las Vegas?
It's been cool. I've faced him a few times in high school, never since then, so it's been a while. But when he stepped in the box, it was cool. You know, we both nodded at each other, just to acknowledge the fact that, you know, we're here, we've come a long ways, and we're still right here together. So it's been cool. It's been exciting, and I look forward to facing him many years. You
know, he had a lot of good things to say about you when you were coming back from Tommy John surgery. Obviously, you know the body of work that he's been able to put together as a big leaguer in such a very short time. What is it about each other's games that you've been able to respect through the years?
Different paths, man. We both have different paths going. He went to college. I'm out of high school. I suffered an injury. He's been healthy, and I continue wishing him continued health. But we just got to respect where everybody's come from. No matter what route you take, everybody has a story and everything. But for what he's done, it's incredible, and it's been really, really cool to watch, and fortunate enough to know him and watch him along the way.
Kingham's mound opponent this afternoon is John Lester. The Bucks once scored 10 runs in an inning against him. What lies ahead? Joe and Rock have more on the Cubs starter next on AT Sportsnet.
AT Sportsnet is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. Our service centers are now open evenings and weekends. Visit barrelservice.com for more. And by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. Let's go Bucks!
Austin Meadows in the major leagues for a few weeks. He's already gotten a lot of support. Fans and friends and family of Mr. Meadows here at Wrigley Field in Chicago for the second of 3 games. And another young player who came on the scene last year and really thrilled Cubs fans, to be sure. Ian Happ yesterday really saving the day at the end of the ball game and had some good catches.
Now you wonder why the Pirates were held to 1 run. Ian Happ had a lot to do with that. That saved a run right there. He got a bad break on that ball. Got a pretty good break on this one. Colin Moran would have been extra bases. Ian Happ coming up big a second time, perhaps saving another run for his starting pitcher Montgomery. And then to end the game, nothing of the 3, none better than this one. A ball that Josh Harrison hit would have ended up a triple for sure if Ian Happ wasn't able to come up with that one. Pedro Strop as happy as anyone for Ian Happ and his defense yesterday.
Yeah, Jay Hay would have been the tying run in scoring position. And today, John Lester gets the start. He has been excellent lately, but the Pirates have been able to get to him. He's really been the one team that has been able to score against him here lately.
Yeah, I mean, the Pirates have got on John Lester a little bit. You know, his last time out, the Pirates scored 4 against him, and he's still very tough. He has that good cutter. He has the breaking ball. The fastball velocity's down a little bit, so he can keep you off balance and still get outs. He's been really good at home. Can swing the bat a little bit, too. Can John Lester. This guy's been around forever. He knows how to pitch, even with the velocity down a little bit, still as good as ever. This season, 6-2, 244. His earned run average, 184 here at home against the Mets. 2 hits, no runs, but against the Pirates over his last 7, a 6.21 ERA.
8th in the league in that earned run average. And Josh Bell and the Pirates taking on the Cubs here in Chicago. And let's check in with Dan Potash. He's got a game break. What was that?
where he doesn't feel the pressure of hitting cleanup for a while, and the guys that have been getting on base and him not being able to drive them in. Now it's a different dynamic.
So there you have it from the straight out of the mouth of the manager, Clint Hurdle. Josh Bell's move out of the cleanup spot is not a temporary move. It's not just a one-time thing. It's going to be that way for the foreseeable future for Josh Bell. Now, Clint Hurdle did go on to say, hey, maybe he hits with more guys on base. Maybe he hits with less guys on base than he would have in the cleanup spot. And he also likened it to rearranging the living room furniture. It's all the same stuff. Sometimes you give it a little bit of a different look. You like it a little bit better. So we'll see, Joe and Rock, what this looks like with Josh Bell being moved out of the 4 spot for the foreseeable future.
No, it makes all the sense in the world, Robbie, and thanks for that report. You know, the cleanup spot is always so vaunted, but it makes sense. I mean, for Bell, he's seen more at bats with runners in scoring position than all but 4 other hitters in baseball. So, and he has not hit well over a long period of time now. Clint Hurdle has been very stoic in moving guys around in the order this season, but at this point now, 64 games into the season, yeah, I think it's time to at least give this a shot and see how Bell does.
Yeah, and I will give him some credit. I mean, he has done okay with runners in scoring position, 279, but he hasn't done as well without runners in scoring position. Obviously, his average is 236, so a much lower average without runners in scoring position. I think Josh Bell probably has struggled more this year than any other time in his baseball career, not just professional career or big league career, but his baseball career. And so, it might take a little pressure off, but hopefully he'll find something. I know he's working very hard. He works as hard as anybody to where he could start driving the ball again. I think that's what we're really missing from Josh Bell: the long ball, the gap shot, driving the ball more consistently than in the past years than he has this year.
And let's take a look at that newly minted RAV4 lineup for the Pirates today. Jordy Mercer is in the leadoff spot for the first time this season with Meadows and Marte 2 and 3. Cervelli now his 3rd career start as the cleanup man. David Freese bats 5th with Bell down to 6. Polanco in the lineup today batting 7th. Sean Rodriguez in again at the 8th spot, and then Nick Kingham of it bats 9th. Behind Sean Rodriguez against John Lester.
Yeah, the veteran John Lester, 6-2, 244, is still as good as ever. In his 12 starts, 70 innings, 8 home runs allowed. The one thing I have noticed looking at some numbers on John Lester, throwing the cutter less, throwing the fastball less. We're seeing more curveballs, more changeups. It used to be mostly fastball, cutter, and so now kind of evolving as his velocity goes down.
And using his defense, the Honda defense, with Ian Happ swinging over to center field today. Schwarber and Hayward flanking him. Bryant, Russell, Zobrist, and Rizzo around the horn, and Wilson Contreras behind the plate for the Cubs. And half of those 3 diving catches we outlined for you playing in left field yesterday. He has played all over for the Cubs. And Contreras have more innings caught than any catcher in baseball. He's young. Both catchers putting on a show in the series so far. Mercer in there today. No Josh Harrison, an excused absence because of a personal concern today. So Mercer atop the order.
It was fairly common to see Mercer batting leadoff against lefties in years past, but just the first time this year.
Primarily out of the 8 position. Gets the strike call there.
There's the curveball, and again, that's pitch he's relying on a little bit more, that and the changeup. And he doesn't throw hard, but he does have a deceptive delivery to where that fastball gets on you, that cutter as well, and so you gotta get it ready, gear up for that, and then he spins one and you can't stop your swing. You're out in front.
Had some trouble with the curve, did Mercer yesterday, though. Hit the ball hard a couple of times. Meadows with 2 hits yesterday. And he's done so well against left-handed pitching. .421 slugging, .947, including one of those home runs against Leicester. He'll test Rizzo's range. And he beat it out. So says Jansen Visconti, the call-up umpire from Latrobe down at first base today.
We'll take a look at it, and anytime you have a lefty on the mound, it's a little bit harder for him to get off that mound. They usually fall to the other side, to the third base side, and he got there in time, just the stutter steps as he was getting to that bag, and it appeared that perhaps that right foot of Lester touched that bag before the left foot.
Yes,
of
indeed.
Austin Meadows.
Yeah, I think that'll be pretty clear cut. And so the Cubs are challenging this. Credit Meadows, though, for making that a play. I mean, you and I always talk about this. Guys are supposed to run hard all the time, but when they do, sometimes you can make a play close. Sometimes you can beat it out.
And so the ruling is he is out.
Call overturned. The Cubs win the challenge. They'll have the opportunity to continue to use it.
For whatever reason, I think umpires, first base umpire especially, are so good at getting that play right. And they're always the closest of plays over there. But it seems to me, for whatever reason, when you have a pitcher covering and that foot hitting around the same time, they seem to miss that one probably a little more than the traditional throw across the diamond.
And Doug Eddings working behind the plate, number 88. Saw Jansen Visconti, the Latrobe native, the call-up umpire. Joe West, been doing it longer than anybody else, the crew chief. Chad Fairchild, last night's plate umpire, over third today.
It's so bizarre to see Lester throw so many off-speed pitches. There'd be times where first time through the lineup, you wouldn't see anything but fastball cutter.
Down to that big left field. And Schwarber hauls it in. It gets bigger out there, and some room for Marte. Ends up flying out to end the inning. This picture perfect Saturday afternoon. The Cubs lineup today. Chris Bryant atop the order for the second straight game, first two times in his career, and Jason Hayward's been swinging the bat well since coming off the DL. Zobrist and Rizzo 3 and 4 with Contreras batting fifth. Kyle Schwarber back in the lineup. Happ, Russell, and Lester bottom of the order against Nick Kingham.
Nick Kingham now making his sixth start, 2-2 of 4.03 ERA, just over a strikeout per inning. Pretty good opponent average, though. Just 214 they're hitting off the big, tall righty.
Yeah, it's shaped up to be a very nice afternoon now. No wind really today. And rain showers all morning, some thunder showers as well. Cervelli with that good game behind the plate yesterday. Chris Bryant, a couple of Vegas kids facing one another. Joe Maddon saying today that the Cubs will keep Bryant in the leadoff spot for now. And that was for when Chris Bryant spit out some gum back when they were 11 years old or something like that.
Yeah, this just gets away. They're trying to crowd him, and yeah, that was dead on. Like left lat.
And look at our Rocket Mortgage breakdown. The leaders in hit by pitches in the National League, and Chris Bryant now atop with 10. Cervelli right there with 9, and of course Anthony Rizzo perennially among the leaders. Hayward drives it, and Marte lost it as it was coming down. That'll go as a double, and the Cubs have men in scoring position.
Never understood why outfielders always get the benefit of the doubt on plays that should be made. This isn't a sun ball. He just slipped. I mean, that's a routine fly ball that goes for a double. If you're going for a ground ball and you slip, they're going to give you an error.
Well, Marte would tell you that he should have caught it. No wind today. The wind was messing with him yesterday. I was talking with him this morning about it, but no wind today. That was just like you said. Foot gave way. Bell will take it to the bag. That's an RBI for Zobrist. Cubs start off with the lead.
Such a professional, Ben Zobrist. He got up in the same situation in yesterday's game, and you could tell he's just looking for a pitch to hit to the right side. Yesterday the ball went through for a base hit for an RBI, and this afternoon again looks for a pitch just to hit to the right side. And you know, there's high fives and congratulations given to Zobrist, because that's the way you play winning baseball. Get them over, get them in.
Well, 3 batters in yesterday. The Cubs had their first run same today. And Hayward stands at third for Rizzo. Infield in for the Pirates. That's how they'll play it here in the first inning. Ten home runs for Rizzo. 43 RBIs. That will certainly be deep enough. 2-0 Chicago.
And again, congratulations will be handed out, and that's winning baseball. You might hate the Cubs, but that's the way you win ball games. You take advantage of opportunities. You go up there with an unselfish approach. I'm going to give myself up. I'm going to make an out, or at least maybe not make an out, but I'm going to hit a ball to the right side to move the runner into scoring into third base with less than 2 outs. Now Rizzo just trying to get a ball out of the infield, does. 2 runs scored without a hit.
Rizzo an RBI machine lately. 35 RBI since the beginning of May. And we'll see how Nick Kingham responds. This is not the first time in Kingham's short major league career where he's had something go wrong behind him or has given up a couple of early runs. He's not let that phase him. And he comes back quickly to strike out Contreras. Cubs pick up 2 quick ones. 2-0 Chicago. 2-0 lead through the first inning on the gift double to Hayward. Good to have all the Pirates faithful here today. In that number 4 spot of the order again today, Francisco Cervelli for the 3rd time now in his career this week. First time he's ever started as the cleanup man for a team. And it makes sense. I mean, if you want to go with the guy who has been the most productive with men on, not that, as you point out, not that Bell has been all that bad. He's been all right with men on. And Schwarber has enough room.
Yeah, that's a home run in pretty much every ballpark. They talk about the friendly confines here, and hitters like to hit here. The gaps are really shallow, so you hit a gap shot here, you can get some cheap homers. You hit a ball down the line, I think that said 355 down the left field line. He catches it right before the wall. There's not many left field lines that are as deep as 355.
Not these days. That wall is not going to ever be changed, or at least not in anytime soon. A historical marker. All the renovations that they've made at this ballpark, and that they had to consult the city just to get them to put in the bullpens underneath it and things like that. I mean, they can barely touch that wall. That's how important it is. So those unique dimensions. 400 to center, that's ho-hum, right? See that a lot of places. 368 to the gaps, narrow. But down those lines, you're not going to get anything cheap. And now there's not hardly any fair territory down there with the bullpens now underneath the outfield bleachers. There would be no Bartman.
There would be a Bartman, but just not a Bartman incident.
Yeah, we just wouldn't know about it. Freese is the first base runner for the Pirates today. Let's go down to Robbie. He's got more on the changes here at Wrigley.
Yeah, you're talking about that. So some of the seats by the Cubs dugout just behind that have been reinstalled on metal brackets instead of the concrete. So the seats and the dugout can be removed to configure the field for football games. Now the hope is that they host more football games here at Wrigley Field in the future. Northwestern played Illinois here back in 2010, and after school reached a partnership with the Cubs in 2013, they've targeted November of 2020 for the next football game to be played here. So those seats right back there, all temporary seats behind the Cubs dugout. So maybe you come here and watch some football here in the winter, guys, if you want.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Thanks, Robbie. Yeah, I think in that Northwestern Illinois game, they had to petition the Big Ten to have shorter than average end zones, I think, where they weren't as deep as usual, just to try to fit it in. So they had to play in one direction just for that reason. So now they can have a full field, it looks like.
Had hockey, football, obviously baseball, ski jumping.
There used to be a picture here, yeah, of some sort of ski jump. Oh, there was a time where football and baseball was played at the same parks all the time.
Yeah.
Back to the future, I guess. Well, Lester falling behind, walking Freese. Now 3-1 on Bell. Batting in the 6th spot today.
A little late on that. That pitch elevated outer third. You know, when you're in a heading to count 3-1, you're looking for something hard. You're looking for something up, something you can drive, and Again, I talked about Lester has some deception to his delivery where that 92 looks harder.
And Lester's walked a pair.
It looked like he tried to go with like a little backdoor cutter, throw that cutter off the outside part of the plate and have that late break catch the outside corner.
Well, for whatever reason, the Pirates have kind of had Lester's number as Polanco comes up, getting a start against the lefty today.
And you talk about reading swings, and I'm curious as to that pitch selection, 3-2 to Bell. You throw a 3-1 fastball, and it's a very late swing on a pitch that's away, and you'd think by reading swings, well, I'm going to bust him in now. I mean, he was late on away. I should be able to go in. I was curious to see them even take some off with the cutter and go away.
Well, they've been pitching Polanco in to try to get him out this year. But trying to make some adjustments by moving off the plate a little bit. Try to combat that some.
And I would say, I guess the best guy to compare Polanco to would be a guy like Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward's way off the plate. Jason Hayward was never a good inside fastball type hitter. We talked about it yesterday. The Pirates continued to go away, and he continued to hit the ball hard the other way. And in today's game, they went away. He hit the ball hard the other way, the double that should have been caught in the left center field. But he's off the plate because he can't reach anything in. But even though he's off the plate, because he has the long arms, the long reach, he can still get to the ball away. But I think in pitcher's mind, he's like, man, he's so far off the plate, I can't come in because he's going to hit it into the street here, But I still think that's where you get Hayward out, is inside. But that's one way to get him from throwing it in, is to get off the plate. I mean, at least it's worked for Hayward.
It's just starting with Polanco, him trying to do that. But, hey, any pitches on the inner third or in, he's 4 for 45 this year on any ball put in play. So, no, I mean, 0 results just about. One of those was the pinch hit double the other day when he was standing off the plate on Wednesday, and Jeff Branson making that adjustment in game prior to him entering as a pinch hitter.
And it's not just in. I mean, with Gregory Polanco, especially the last month or so, his struggles aren't just the inside pitch, as you mentioned. They're 4 for 45 or whatever, but the pitch down the middle he has struggled with. And again, that goes to mechanics, it goes to timing, and that all kind of plays together. But pitches middle he was crushing the first month of the season. The last 4 or 5 weeks, he hasn't even really had success with that either.
And that tells you something.
Yeah, I mean, it's. And so with Polanco, okay, so if you execute a pitch in and you get him out, okay, I mean, that's just kind of the MO and the way some pitchers have success against him. But when you make the mistake middle or out over the plate where he likes it, or when he's not taking advantage of that, that's when the slump looks really bad, because he's going to get those pitches as well.
Lester staying it, keeping it low and out of the zone for the most part here.
For instance, up until the end of April, he had 351 on pitches down the middle. Since May 1st, he's hit 269. Pitches middle as far as elevation, 308 through April.
Seems like it should be even higher than that.
Yeah, exactly. 308 through April on pitches that are like middle in terms of height, 182 since. And so that has something to do with it as well. It's again mechanics, which leads to timing.
He's going to see a 9th pitch of this at bat. Freeze at second, Bell at first, both on walks.
By the way, to give you an example on middle, if it's middle of the plate, middle height, is Lester again going to the breaking ball. Has him way out in front. I was looking at Bryant's hot and cold chart, and it's red everywhere, meaning he's above average, except for middle. It's 325 and it's below average, so that gives you an idea. As far as middle, 325 is below average.
Now it's up to Sean Rodriguez.
And I'm sure Sean wasn't expecting a first pitch changeup. Again, it's a different John Lester.
And probably has to change it up too. With the Pirates doing well against him, he's done well against just about everybody else this year. Rodriguez in there. No Josh Harrison today, excused for personal reasons, not with the club today. So Sean getting his 6th start in the team's last 12 games, 25th start overall this season.
Best pitch in baseball, down and away, fastball for a strike. Anytime you can hit that outside corner around the knees. Tough pitch to hit for most.
25th pitch of the inning from Lester. After 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and the Pirates strand a pair, trailing 2-0. Second coming up from here in Chicago. And next Saturday, the Pirates will take on the Reds at 4:05 back at PNC Park. And all the fun will start on Federal Street before the game with a Margaritaville block party featuring live music, food trucks, and autographs from Vernon Law. And also the first 20,000 fans take home a Pirates Hawaiian shirt thanks to AT&T Sportsnet. Go to pirates.com, get your tickets. Come on out Saturday, 4:05. Kyle Schwarber will lead it off against Nick Kingham. Faced 5 batters in that first through just 9 pitches, but Starling Marte slipping on that wet grass after a morning full of showers. And that ended up going as a double for Hayward. 2 runs scored. And Kingham's got a pitch from behind today. Schwarber looks a little more trim than he has in recent times.
Yeah, apparently lost some weight over the winter. A nice call there on that 2-0 pitch. It was off the plate away. Yeah, I wouldn't say he looks thin, but I would say he looks lighter.
Yeah.
Big, strong guy.
Done a nice job to get on base. Walks are up. Leads the team in walks, in fact. Top 10 in the league and on base. I mean, he hit 30 home runs last year, but now the game is starting to round out just as he's not anymore. He's played a decent left field. I mean, he's a catcher by trade, but kind of improved out there.
It never looks smooth, but he made a couple nice plays early on. Marte, a line drive to deep left. High fly ball from Cervelli.
He's starting to hit lefties now, and you know, I say all these things. There's Cervelli, but you know, I start to say these things because with young players, we were talking about Polanco last inning. Sometimes it takes a few years for them to, you know, you might have some success, and then you know, you give and take a little bit before you really get settled in as a big league player. We were telling you about the field conditions a little bit. Robbie's got more on that.
Yeah, so at the end of the last inning, crew chief Joe West came over to the Pirates dugout at the end of the dugout, and that's where the grounds crew is housed, where they go in and out, where they keep all their stuff. He said, hey, I need a rake. This infield is way too wet, so look for them next inning to do some manicuring on the infield between first and second base. And that is similar to what Starling Marte said when he came back after he slipped going for that fly ball. He said the grass was really, really wet out there, and the last step before he went to go catch that baseball is where he lost his footing. So who knows how that plays in the rest of the game, but look for the grounds crew to come out and do a little bit of work here.
Thanks, Robbie. Rock, what does that mean when infield's too wet like that?
Well, the interesting thing about that is after they took the tarp off, they wet down the field. You know, so it's not from the rain, it's from the hose that made it too wet. And you know, I think if the dirt and the clay starts sticking to your cleats, you know, it's a little tacky, probably too much so if you start slipping. It's obviously a problem. As far as the outfield grass is concerned, anytime there's rain, the grass is going to be wet. You know, and it wasn't pouring here. I mean, so you do have, it's just like getting up and going to get your newspaper. If you step in the grass most mornings, it's wet. And so they have drainage system here just like they do anywhere else. It took them forever to put it in. Maybe 10 or 15 years ago did they redo the field to get better drainage.
This one heading toward the seats.
But, you know, it's the grass gets wet. It used to be like this ballpark didn't have the underground drainage like all the other, all the new, it was crowned. Yeah. If you sat in the first base dugout, you couldn't see second or third base. I mean, that's how much of a crown there was, and that's how they got water to run off. Well, now they have the state of the art drainage systems underneath, like most stadiums.
It's like like your street usually, right? It kind of has that hump to it, and water runs off to the sides. And now it's been flat for probably about a dozen years or so. But it's still dewy, just like I only have time to cut the grass this morning before work. Wake up the neighbors. Well, you know, there's too much dew on the grass. Doesn't cut, it kind of clumps up the grass. Dirt gets clumped up in the shoes, and same thing. So 2 walks to start the inning.
To me, as far as the grass or the dirt in the infield being too wet, as long as if you're an infielder and you can, you know, sometimes you get clay in your cleats or whatever, and as long as you're not slipping as you go to the ball, I mean, it's fine. I can understand sometimes it gets a little too wet. The most dangerous thing about it is sliding. If it's this clay and then they put the diamond dry on top of it, it gets sticky. And there's times where you slide and you don't. I mean, you go down the slide, you don't slide, you stick. You try to go head first, your body sticks, and that's how you get hurt.
Instead of the body going with you, something, you know, maybe tuck a leg underneath yourself, right, or something. jam something?
Dislocate a shoulder.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah. I was going to say, wait a minute, that sounds familiar.
It was the first inning, and this was at old Phillies Veterans Stadium, and you know, so they only wetted the around the bases.
Cutouts, yeah.
And it was only about 3 inches into the game, and I slid head first, and my arm stuck and my body didn't. I went around my arm, that just kind of stayed there. Three pitches in. Yeah, that wasn't fun.
Now for Kingham here, this is a little bit unprecedented for him as it's fouled away. 2 walks. He's only walked 5 coming into this start in his 5 starts total. Very unusual to see that kind of wildness. You see the 9 balls, 8 have been to those 2 hitters, so usually way ahead.
Yeah, it looked like a changeup that he missed on with Happ. The 2-seam fastball that ran off the plate with Schwarber leading off the inning. Good changeup there. It stayed soft for the most part against Addison Russell. Got ahead with the curveball, and then the changeup running inside. And there was a time with 2 strikes, you'd never want to throw an inside changeup. You know, guys thinking, oh, I'm going to hit the ball the other way, I'm going to shorten up, stay inside it. But Addison Russell way out in front, coming around the ball.
Not that many hitters with 2-strike approaches these days. Lester bats with 1 out.
And not squaring to bunt, and we see this more frequently, especially with the Cubs. 1 out, typically it's a no doubt sacrifice situation.
A little bit of unusual command concerns from Kingham. He hit the leadoff batter in the first. He walked the leadoff batter. In fact, the first 2 here in the second. Those 2 innings where he's put the leadoff man on, that equals his whole season so far with the Pirates. Those first 5 starts, only 2 leadoff men got on in those 30 innings. So he usually gets out number 1 before anything starts to happen.
That guy with the binoculars behind home plate. I wonder if that's a Cubs employee.
Oh boy.
Trying to pick up pitches. Oh, he's tipping. He's tipping his pitches.
Yeah.
There he goes. You know, let's see if this guy's doing anything.
Usually those seats you don't need those, right?
No, he's in the first row.
What would it be like to sit in the bleachers?
Imagine if he pulls out his phone and, oh well, yeah, he's flaring on the changeup. Good take there. That's a breaking ball that starts in the zone and breaks down and out of the zone. And Lester 30-50.
That's a Dicka shirt. Got the aviators on and the mustache. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kingham. After 2 walks, nothing put in play this whole inning. Bryant, who is the leadoff hitter again for the 2nd straight day. Pirates saw something similar when they played the Nationals in D.C. The Nats experimented with Bryce Harper in that leadoff spot for a few days. Bryant and Kingham, of course, a long history and knowing each other back as youths, playing for different little league teams back in Las Vegas, and now seeing each other again here in the major leagues years later. And for Bryant out of Bonanza High School in Las Vegas. Came out of Sierra Vista. And Kingham getting him to swing and miss here.
Yeah, another good changeup, good location. That's how you get Brian out, by the way. If you can get him to chase out of the zone. When he makes contact with pitches in the zone, he's pretty good. And in fact, he's above average just about anywhere you throw it in the strike zone, except for, like I said earlier, middle, slightly below average at 325.
Now even up. And the grounds crew going to make some changes to the infield. Robbie telling us that they're going to put some of that drying agent on the infield between innings. And the reason they're waiting until the end of this inning, Joe West asking them to do that so that both teams have their at-bats, doing it at the end of an inning. In fairness.
So you're saying they're leveling the playing field?
Touche. Well done. Nothing better than that, huh? Kid at a ball game, interested, paying attention. Dad teaching him, right?
Yeah, talking a little ball.
Now look here, Bryant's going to strike out. See, told you. Hey, that's so smart. That crew chief Joe West asking the grounds crew to drag the infield a few times. He's overseeing that project right now. This happens periodically, of course, during the game, but asking to have it done because of the moisture content of the grounds a little too high for his liking. So
back in the day here, the infield was like rock hard. I don't know if it had to do with the wind. There was hardly any dirt on the field, and the grass was super high. And so by the time the ball got to you anyhow, it was almost rolling because the grass was so thick and high, and that would speed up. Now just about every ballpark, yeah, it's like a fairway. The grass is cut nice and short. Infields play much quicker.
Great crew here to get us that shot. Great crew to get us that field. Quickly manicured as well. Kingham will start. Do you notice that the infield grass is more uniform these days than it was in years past?
Oh, without a doubt. It's
from park to park. I mean, yeah.
It's all pretty similar.
Some parks would water the front of the plate differently, right? Or not at all? Or
I think almost all of them drench in front of home plate to favor the pitcher.
Yeah, even though baseball sports different dimensions, which makes it unique. Yeah, a little bit more uniformity from field to field. Kingham was talking about, you know, this is his first trip ever to Wrigley. Yesterday, they were pulling in the early morning bus, and he was looking around. And wow, this is Wrigleyville. This is what they talk about, the neighborhood that surrounds Wrigley Field. And Kingham bidding for his first major league hit, but Russell takes care of him. And he thought it was you know, very interesting about all that part of it, but also just, you know, the confines, to use the word that the Cubs use, of the clubhouse. And he hadn't seen anything like that since playing as a visitor in Vermont at the old ballpark down in the minor leagues. But this place has changed quite a bit from when you and I have first seen it to now when Kingham has first seen it.
Oh, it's really amazing. Everything that they've done, I guess, on the third base side and behind, it's so modern now and brand spanking new and spacious. They still have work to do on the first base side and beyond. The home or the visiting clubhouse. And
yeah, they've moved and expanded the dugouts, which were so neatly antiquated before. Yeah, of course, the scoreboards here, there were no scoreboards until just a couple years ago. There was a small digital marquee underneath the iconic scoreboard in center field, and that was it.
And I think they've done a terrific job in terms of, you know, still making it look old, but modernizing it with
old-fashioned rather than just old.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's way better. I mean, I know there were some that weren't happy with the changes, but it's better now than ever, I think.
Yeah, I think they're doing a nice job here, and if you ever have a chance to come to Chicago, this is obviously one of the parks that they talk about, and for good reason. With all the history. A couple of groundouts for Lester in the inning. More common areas here. First time I came here was in the mid-90s. And yeah, you could just either go to the bleachers, which have since been expanded, or you can go to the main seating area, and that was it. Now they got the rooftop seating across the streets.
In the mid-90s, I'm sure for those who were here a bunch of times, it wasn't uncommon to hear them say the place is a dump. It wasn't. I mean, because it was just, nothing was new. Everything was old and outdated. The playing surface, like you meant, it was like the crowned infield, and the grass was a mess. And I mean, it wasn't, to me, it wasn't major league caliber in terms of the playing surface, the clubhouses.
And they're getting there. Meadows is going to have extra bases. Hayward has to find it in that dark corner. That's an easy triple for Austin Meadows.
He continues to do it. John Lester, not an easy guy to hit. He's been around forever. He's had success against lefties. Austin Meadows, a couple of hits off him and a homer the last time he faced him, and gets a fastball in, turns it around, short and quick, and hit hard right down the line.
And just sat there. Meadows now 3 for 5 with a homer and a triple lifetime against Leicester, who came into today in the top 10 in ERA in the National League. And they're both left-handed. Already his second triple. This is the first series for Meadows here at Wrigley as a Pirate, but he had played here, as you saw on our air yesterday, 6 years ago in the Under Armour showcase games here at Wrigley.
Soft from Leicester. Changeup, curveball, changeup. They give him a lot of room on that left side. Russell playing him way over to pull. Zobrist just a shading second. Let's see if we can get a ground ball past Leicester. A waste pitch way out of the zone. Look at the gap between Ben Zobrist at second base and Addison Russell at short.
To me, that's a shift. Doesn't count in the shift stats.
No.
But when you bunch two guys to one corner to pull on the ground like that, I mean, literally nothing is going to get between them, you'd think.
No, but that's a lot of room. I don't know if I've ever remember seeing a shortstop playing that much to pull.
With a third baseman there too. I mean, you know.
And the only time you'd see a shortstop playing that far over, you have the second baseman right to your left on that same left side.
Yeah, either he's going to hit it normal on the ground or he's going to pull it, I guess, is how they're playing it, right?
Yeah, that's what the spray chart obviously is why they're playing him that way.
Had him played right. And that strands Meadows after his 2-out triple. So it'll stay 2-0 Chicago. Have the advantage. And look at some of our Point Park social media and on Twitter. See some of the Pirate faithful making their way to Wrigley Field today. Great to see you here. The longtime marquee here at Wrigley Field. some field access before the game. You can see the tarp back there. We had a lot of rain showers this morning. Sunny afternoon shaping up on this Saturday here in Chicago. Jason Hayward. Well, I've got a piece of Cervelli. Tom Prince knows all about that. Pirates bench coach, former catcher.
Oh, right now. Left shoulder.
Brian Housen, the head athletic trainer, on standby. Look at our Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
Oh, that came up under. I don't think that it's the shoulder that hurt. That the ball, after it hit his shoulder, looked like it got a piece of his jaw underneath the mask. You don't see that very often.
I think that happened to Cervelli too on the homestand, actually, which you're right. I don't know if I'd seen that in a great deal of time, but coming in and hitting the side of his, I think, neck in that other case.
Now there you saw on the side. There's a little room behind that mask.
Rarely do you go unscathed behind the plate for a day. Hayward has the lone Cubs hit, and that was a gift when Marte slipped on the grass out in center field. Ball fell in. Otherwise, Kingham really no hits, though he has walked 2 and hit a batter. So the Cubs have had the first 2 men on in each of the first 2 innings.
I like the way they're attacking this at bat as they come in, and that may have just got a piece of the mask.
Doug Eddings looks like he's talking with him, making sure he's okay. Cervelli, of course, with a history of concussions, so always a little bit more mindful of him, perhaps. I'm sure takes care of that play to start the Cubs' 3rd inning. First time the leadoff man retired by Kingham. Cervelli going to back up the play, so he's just fine, relatively speaking. And between the pitches here, Brian Housen's going to come out and just check on Cervelli a little bit. Clint Hurdle also coming out as Doug Eddings chance with Kingham. Anything that's in and around the head. That looks like right behind the jawbone there, right where. They want to make sure that Cervelli stays in a good way. Elias Diaz on standby if needed. I want to make sure there was not a evident break there or anything. No, and Cervelli, even if he had a broken jaw, he'd probably just want to play through it anyway.
Schwarber used to be back there.
Takes a special breed, you know. I mean, you're dinged up all the time. You're in on every play.
You get hit
pitch.
a lot. I mean, they get hit who knows how many times a game between blocking balls and foul tips.
When you play in the infield, let's say you play third, right? Maybe a ball comes up on you once in a while, right? Nothing like behind the plate, though.
Nothing is like behind the plate. Yeah, it's, you can take 100 balls in batting practice, ground balls in the infield, you're not going to get hit nearly as many times.
That's going to find grass.
Nice little adjustment made there by Zobrist. Waved at a changeup to fall behind the count. This time, pretty similar pitch. The approach changes. Okay, I'm out in front of the 0-1 pitch. Now I'm down 0-2. I got to cover that. See the ball longer. Start thinking the other way. When you get to 2 strikes and you start thinking about hitting the ball the other way, you're able to stay back on that pitch. The previous pitch to the one that he was way out in front and swung through 0-2, he was thinking pull, and so he's out in front. You start thinking the other way, it allows you that little extra time to see it. And although he didn't hit it hard, put it in play and was rewarded.
Anthony Rizzo, a sac fly, his only time. No wind today, but the park holds it.
Now a guy like Rizzo, I think that's his approach every pitch. Pull it. Look for a pitch that I can drive. And he thought maybe he got enough of that, as did a lot of the folks here watching this afternoon. And again, a little bit off the end of the bat, it looked like. He was just out in front, and that's the shortest part of the park. That short little gap, not needed to go to about 370. He only went about 360.
Zobrist back. Saw him run yesterday. Wilson Contreras, strikeout victim his first time. Kingham has fanned 4 Cubs already.
Yeah, Zobrist went yesterday because it was a full count and Rizzo was up there, but there was really no reason for it. I mean, you're more likely to get a double play by sending Zobrist than getting a ground ball.
And that was with 1 out. There are 2 here. Not a guy that straight steals. Freeze making a nifty play to end the inning. Still 2-0 Cubs.
It's time for the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
Two first inning runs for the Cubs. That's been it so far. in the 4th inning here from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Thanks for being along here with us. It's trying to even the series. Go figure today. Glenn Hurdle talking about moving Josh Bell out of the cleanup spot for the time being. He's put Cervelli in there 3 times this week. And of course, he's led off both times that he's been.
Yeah.
Flying out his first trip. And a couple of Pirates pitchers on the disabled list. Ivan Nova, Richard Rodriguez. Well, we should hear soon about Ivan Nova. Glenn Hurdle saying that there will be news on when Nova can return after the game, and by Nova's characterization, it should be soon. He's had a finger ailment.
Cervelli will look for something to drive here. Favorable count.
On top of it. And that is the first out.
And change up had him out in front. I mean, you got a 3-1 count, and you're looking, oh, this guy throws fastballs and cutters. I'm going to get something middle in. Actually left him a changeup right down the middle. And again, talking about what you're thinking as a hitter. Well, I'm looking for something to pull. He sees the pitch up middle, thinking, boy, it's a great pitch to hit. But because Lester, a different guy, throws him a 3-1 changeup just off the end of the bat.
Driven by Freeze. And Happ hauls it in. He had quite the day yesterday in the field. That was a nice play.
Nice approach by Freeze, going with the pitch, hits it out there, but Happ was playing him that way. Inside, man, that's a nice swing. You should be rewarded for that, but the Cubs had him played perfectly.
Now the number 6 hitter, Josh Bell. I think Glenn Hurdle was talking about moving him down in the lineup, not as a demotion, but just as a way to maybe take some pressure off of him and rearrange the furniture, as Robbie was telling us earlier. I think that makes sense, right? I mean, especially for a young player who's had 1 full season in the major leagues. Some prolonged struggles.
You know, I think maybe it takes some pressure off. I mean, you'd have to ask him if he feels more or less pressure batting 4th or batting 6th. Hard to say. I mean, he never struck me as the type that felt pressure batting 4th, and that's why he fit in so nicely there last year. You know, 90 RBIs in the year that he had.
Second most plate appearances for a rookie in the cleanup spot in Pirates history.
I mean, I think you construct a lineup to get the most out of the lineup. I think that's probably more of the reason, to just try to find a way to get more offensive.
And Lester gets the final strike on Bell. Diaz coming in. Cervelli took a ball that deflected off of his chest protector and into the side of his face near his jaw. So Diaz will step in here for Cervelli. If we get any definitive reports, we'll let you know. But that appears to be related to that. Kyle Schwarber will lead it off. And this is what happened on this foul last inning. Going up and just ricocheting. And Brian Housen, the athletic trainer, did not come out right away. Cervelli kind of shooed him off, and then a couple of pitches later he came out anyway just to check, and now Cervelli coming out of the game.
Well, hopefully nothing serious.
I want to be sure, though. And that makes sense. I mean, Cervelli has suffered multiple concussions in his career, and or there could be damage to the jaw or anything, or there might be nothing. But that's the way you find out, is take a look right away.
So the bench shortened because of Josh Harrison's absence, and now you bring in your backup catcher early, leaving just Dickerson, Moran, and Frazier.
All left-handed batters. The Cubs reset their bullpen yesterday. They had 3 of their top 4 relievers not available. They still navigated the later innings with a couple of rookies or a couple of young players leading up to Stroh.
Oh, that's the old it's down the middle and strike 3, but because you didn't catch it in front of you, we're going to call it a ball. You know, Kyle Schwarber is just thankful that they were set up so far off the plate to where a pitch down the middle was called ball 2.
Could be a big swing here. Doug Eddings ruling it as such. Makeup.
Oh, big time makeup call there. But I think Schwarber knows he should have been struck out on that 1-2 pitch, and so this one fades off.
He's been behind that plate. He knows.
I just realized another bit of Pittsburghese that I didn't realize. Kyle. It's Kyle. Is it Kyle or Kyle?
Well, depends on what borough.
I literally never thought of it, and I'm like thinking, well, probably not Kyle. It's not C-A-L. Cal.
Oh. How would you say C-A-L then?
Cal.
Okay, all right.
But I'm guessing.
I didn't notice that.
Is there 2 syllables in Kyle? Is it Kyle?
Some places.
Yeah, Kyle. I'm trying to rid myself.
Oh, why?
Pittsburghese. I know.
Why would you do that?
I revert back a lot more in the winter. And during the summer, I try to eliminate.
What do you try to do?
Eliminate the Pittsburghese.
Why? Why would you do that? It's very charming. I've caught myself adopting a lot of the terminology myself. Living with.
You said on the air yesterday that they were being nebby.
Yeah, that's a word that has been in our household for a long time now. So It's a very good word. It means exactly what it sounds like it means.
I know. I didn't even call you out for saying nebby. I thought it was actually kind of cute.
I forgot it's not a word. I've used it in other states before, and no one knows what I'm talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. So see, don't beat yourself up.
I'm not. I'm just, again,
I didn't even notice. I didn't even
50
notice.
years, and there's still words that I don't realize that I say wrong, and names, obviously, until I think about it.
It's just your way, and that's what makes you you.
Is it Kingham or Kingham?
Depends on where you go. Yes. Maybe yeah. That's good. I know that. First pitch strikes. Kingham, one of the better ones at first pitch strikes in his young career so far. And that was coming into today. The first pitch strikes. Yeah, you get to 2 out of 3. You're ahead.
Yeah.
That's very good. He's 3 out of 4 today. Didn't get all of it. That's the second out, bringing up the pitcher. We got to think about how Kingham, with the Marte falling down in center field and allowing that inning to continue for 2 runs, Kingham has weathered that storm again today, like he has in a couple of his starts earlier this year.
Yeah.
As we look at our Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
There are certain things in the starting pitcher that are out of your control. Your defense and how many runs your offense scores. Sometimes you have to deal with an umpire and how they're calling a game, and missed calls, blue pits, wind-blown homers. There's a lot of things that I think pitchers have to deal with.
Well, first time we have a breeze today. I was talking with Marte before the game about it. He said, you know, this park, inning to inning, you've got to really be aware of what's happening with the wind.
It's usually fairly consistent. I know the last time we were here, the game opened up with fairly calm and 70 degrees, and within a few innings it dropped 15 degrees and the wind was howling in.
Routine out to Meadows. Out there in that green pasture, hauling it in for the final out. Still 2-0 Chicago.
Sportsnet is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Spend Father's Day at the ballpark with Dad when the Pirates play the Reds next Sunday at 1:35. It's a Kids' Day before the game on Federal Street in the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone. Kids and dads will both take home a replica batting practice cap thanks to Kennywood. Kids and dads can run the bases after the game thanks to Rivendell. Go to pirates.com/kidsdays. Get your tickets. Come on out. Pirates beginning this road trip in Chicago, then out to Phoenix. Take on the Diamondbacks. Bottom third of the Pirates order. Polanco, Rodriguez, and then Nick Kingham against John Lester. Nine pitch at bat first time around for Polanco.
Yeah, that was a good one to hit there, that last one. Up middle. Middle.
You were breaking it down for us last inning, how Polanco, it's not just the inside pitches, which would make sense for him to struggle against, crowding the plate before, but some down the middle too.
Yeah, hitting is difficult, and again, if you start crowding your head with, oh, I got to get to the mid, I got to get to the inside pitch, and certain teams don't throw you the inside pitch. So if you're sitting there looking for the inside pitch and it doesn't come, and then you end up seeing other pitches that are hittable that you don't end up hitting. And so ideally I would, and again, hitting is very difficult at this level, but I think whatever you're most comfortable with, wherever I want the ball, whether it's outer third, up and outer third, or down and in. Well, up until 2 strikes, I want to look for the pitch in the area where I'm going to have the most success, and only that. And then with 2 strikes, then you have to go back to battle mode. But the key, I think, for the best hitters are when they get that pitch in that area that they're looking for, and they miss it, and they don't miss it, and they're able to attack it and hit it hard, you're going to be successful. Now, there are going to be times where pitchers just make quality pitches. They don't throw pitches in the area where you're successful, and you're going to struggle. But the key is that to find that pitch, especially when you're in the hitter's count or the beginning of the at bat, to where if they throw it in that zone where you like it, you got to put it in play. You got to hit it. But there are some at bats you go up there and you don't get a pitch in that area. And another sense is if you go up there and you're in a situation, Sean obviously is struggling too, you don't want to swing at the pitches that aren't in the zone. 2 pitches that are down and out of the zone, it's 0-2.
Hayward hauling it in for the second out.
Yeah, that ball, and again, after falling behind 0-2, Sean Rod puts a good swing on a pitch. It's out over the plate and crushes it, hits it hard, and unfortunately there's a Gold Glover in right. He hits it towards right center. It has some tail that's running back towards that Gold Glover. But yeah, that's a pretty good swing there for Sean Rodriguez. Maybe talk about this fairly often, as a hitter, when you're struggling, there might be just that one pitch and one at bat that gets you right. Maybe that was the pitch for Sean Rodriguez.
Well, now Nick Kingham will swing the bat. He led off the 3rd inning, bounced out. Base is empty here, so swinging away, looking for that first major league hit.
I thought he got it his last time up. All right. Hit the ball up the middle and Thought it was going to sneak through, but Russell was able to get over there and throw Kingham out.
There was another Pirate pitcher. I think it was Tyone. I can't remember, but maybe it was Trevor Williams. Might have been Williams, but still didn't have a major league hit. Hit one out to right, and the right fielder threw to first and got him. So he thinks, okay, I've got my first hit, and he's out.
Bounce it.
And Lester doesn't throw well on to first. He's able to get the out to end the inning.
and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
This week on an all-new edition of Inside Pirates Baseball, a pair of Pirates broadcasters look back on 25 years together in the booth, sharing a thrill ride of calling games. Plus, the Pirates inducted a legend into their Media Wall of Fame. Those stories and our top plays will debut tonight after Pirates postgame. And Joe and Rock, I know you guys are looking forward to seeing that as well. Greg and Bob, 25 wonderful, fantastic, and funny years together. Calling Buccos game, exclusive feature on Inside Pirates Baseball. Great job once again by Jack Becker, the producer of that show, putting everything together, and who knows what those guys are talking about right now.
I am looking forward to seeing that. Thanks, Robbie, and I'm sure they're talking about baseball or cheese or I don't know.
I know they were interviewed by Jack. And I really hope that they don't come off as liking one another. You know, they're going to be all friendly for the camera.
Revisionist history.
Everybody knows that they don't get along. There are a lot of people out there who think that they don't get along.
Look how close they're sitting to each other. I mean, they must be getting along.
He's so mad that Greg's talking to him right now.
That shows you that we all do like each other, right? Because we're able to rib each other or challenge one another, right? I mean, I think that's part of the fun.
I think that's what's been great about this whole experience for me. We've had great guys to work with and work for, and everybody genuinely likes each other, has fun, and don't hold back.
You know, Bob's not even saying anything right now. He's just moving his hands around. It looks like he's part of that. Oh, those guys work close together too. Well, hopefully you and I both will be able to have 25 years in. That's a really cool accomplishment for those guys. Yeah.
We'll see. I'm betting on you going that far.
I don't have that much, or you don't have that much time on me. I mean, in terms of years, you've been here a long time. You could be You can get to 25, no problem.
I could. I doubt that I would or will. You never know. Never know, Joe.
Something I said?
Yeah.
Did win at Words with Friends last week, so. Hayward sends it to Marte for the second out. I'm getting word about Francisco Cervelli removed from the game as a precaution, and currently being examined after having that foul ball off the left side of his jaw, deflecting off his chest protector, and so at least the initial prognosis is precautionary, so that's good. Might be talking about Kingham's changeup today, right? With that motion, I mean, he's thrown a ton of them, and they've been good.
Yeah, it's had great fade to it, running down and away from the left-handed batter.
Ray Searage has got to be happy with that. I know that's been a Pirates edict, you know, all the way through the minor league system. You know, they get guys to throw changeups, and some develop it, some can use it, some it just never materializes. But seeing Kingham's use of it today, you see why that they try to stress it with pitchers. When it works, it can be a very good pitch.
Changeups are great pitches if everything looks the same. I mean, I think the reason why it's more difficult for some than others is to make it look like the fastball coming out of the hand. I mean, that's the whole key, I think, to having a good changeup is at the release point the hitter sees it as a fastball, and so they react as if it's a fastball, and obviously a changeup comes in much slower, and so that is the key to get the hitter out in front, get the timing off.
Soft contact. And the first 1, 2, 3 inning for Nick Kingham this afternoon. He's keeping the Pirates right in this one. 2-0 Cubs. Chasing them by a half game back, and hasn't really been a hair raiser today. Those are 2 first inning runs on a misplay in center when Marte slipped. Pirates trying to get him back. And quite have the carry on it, and Mercer gone to start the Pirates 6th.
And just got in on him a bit.
John Lester's given up 1 hit. The Wrigley Field bleachers.
The bleacher bums.
Austin Meadows has the lone Pirate hit. He tripled into the right field corner his last time up.
Two good pitches. Again, especially early in the count, down and away strikes. It's far from the hitter, and to me, more times than not, if you can locate there, you're going to be ahead in the count, because most hitters aren't even going to offer at that pitch.
There's Ernest and Myrtle Bell cheering on their son Josh today. And the Meadows family there too in the section.
He's rooting for a double. He wants to see Austin hit for the cycle against Lester. First 2 times he's faced him.
It's not like he's hitting some journeyman. Lester coming into the day 8th best in the league in ERA.
It just looks so quiet. Austin Meadows is seeing the ball out of the hand.
He struck out 7 times and he's got at least 70 plate appearances. I mean, that's to start a career. I mean, he has stepped right in. Lester gives him to pop out the 3rd. Two up and 2 down in the Pirates' 6th inning. Check out the lowdown with some news around baseball. Bryce Harper leading the National League now, 19 home runs. Rhys Hoskins had put the Phillies in the lead briefly with his 3-run home run. The DL for Tanaka of the Yankees. Also Steven Strasburg set to hit the DL now after coming out of the game yesterday. 2 innings. And the Nationals just can't get healthy. They just got Adam Eaton back, and now Strasburg heading to the DL. Brandon Kinsler having an MRI. Forearm tightness.
The Tanaka thing I think is hilarious. I don't wish ill will on anybody, but he ran 90 feet. Pitchers run all the time to stay in shape. And so now he's on the bases and he's on 3rd base, and there's a medium fly ball to right field, and he tagged up from 3rd and ran 90 feet and strained both hamstrings.
Well, I don't have anything to add to that.
Run a sprint now and again, just once in a while. So that the first sprint he's run since he's played in the big leagues?
Maybe they didn't run in Japan. I don't know. He's been here a long time. Otis Fitzgerald.
And the thing was, it was a very iffy call as to whether or not he should have tagged. An accurate throw, he's out at home plate, but the throw was offline. Jay Bruce's throw was offline. If it's on the plate, he's out. So it was kind of risky to send him, especially because he's a pitcher and obviously he doesn't sprint. But that's a first for me. I don't think I've ever heard of pulling both hamstrings on one play.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to do, I guess, right? I don't think I've heard that either. Hopefully she's okay. Got a little line drive down to those lower seats.
Two good at bats for Marte. A line out the left and a hard grounder to 3rd. but 0 for 2.
Well, what's worse? Yesterday the Pirates go 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position. That means that they had chances. I mean, most days you're going to get a few hits. Today they haven't had many opportunities. They had first and second, one out in the second after 2 walks. Lester struck out Polanco and Rodriguez. And then they got a 2-out triple in the third. Those have been the only base runners. 1 hit over 6 scoreless for John Lester and the Cubs against the Pirates. As we enter the bottom of the 6th, it's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. Eating a Chicago dog. And the other Wrigley staple, nachos, yes, available only here at Wrigley Field. Anthony Rizzo will start it. And a sac fly back in the first. Pirates have done a nice job against him so far in the series. Came in red hot.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because he, when he gets hot, he can carry an offense. Maybe not as good as that kid can carry a snow cone.
Now, down to a knee.
Another good changeup, and that's why the changeup is such a great pitch. If you can have the same arm speed, it leaves the hand. It looks like a fastball, and you're 2-0, you're aggressive, you're looking for something to pull. And I know talking about it last inning about a good changeup and, and making it look like a fastball. I mean, there's certain guys that can give it away, and it's amazing what a hitter can pick up if you have a pitcher that's throwing a changeup and he slows his arm down just a bit. That's enough to tip a hitter off and be able to react to it. But the arm action, just the same with the fastball and the changeup for Nick.
Rolls it over right into the shift. And Rizzo still hitless in the series. What's the difference between a fastball and changeup? Is it sometimes just what the third finger is on the ball, or
a fastball, you usually it's like you'd imagine throwing a fastball. The changeup, there's a million different grips. There's a Vulcan changeup. There's a circle changeup. There's, you know, certain guys that just kind of put it back in their hand a little bit more.
But you don't want to slow down the arm, right? I mean, that's the idea.
The arm
as a
speed
pitcher
has to stay the same.
Talking pitching. Got a ball in his hand always. The other starters. Joe Musgrove scheduled to pitch tomorrow.
And to me, two of the greatest, you look at Maddox and Glavine, that were both mostly, I would say 95% of the time, it seemed like, threw nothing but fastball changeup. And how they grip the ball, I don't know, but they seemed like they could throw a fastball, a BP fastball, and a changeup, which is like just changing speed with fastballs and then throwing a changeup wherever they wanted, and won 650 games between them with those two pitches.
Contreras got underneath it. Well, the Cubs have a pitcher like that, and Kyle Hendricks, who's won an ERA title. Sometimes he's just adding and subtracting primarily all afternoon or evening. You know, this game can be so complicated, and then it can be so simple. I mean, you think about what is a 10-year-old pitcher, 11-year-old pitcher doing in a pony league or something? You know, just you're going to throw a fastball, and maybe you'll throw a changeup, right? You're just going to add and subtract a little bit. And sometimes that can work all the way into the big leagues if you're good at it. Schwarber launches this one. And Marte has it. So Nick Kingham has sent down 8 Cubs in a row.
To work on and a new group of guys to learn, so I'm really excited for the little rivalry.
So there's Joe Musgrove talking about being a part of this whole Pirates-Cubs thing. A little intense series last time these two teams met. Now Joe Musgrove, Joe and Rock, tomorrow is scheduled to take the mound. We'll see. Clint Hurdle said he will have some news on Ivan Nova's potential status after the game today. So we'll see if Musgrove takes the mound or not tomorrow, whether it's Monday in Arizona, who knows. But either way, going to be a fun finale.
Yeah, Musgrove was talking about how, you know, he was here with the Pirates when they opened the season here, but that was when he was on the disabled list, and looking forward to pitching in an environment where it feels like the fans are right up on you. Just in these older ballparks, for whatever reason, right? The closer upper decks. Did you get that feeling playing here? I mean, that the fans were closer to you?
Maybe a little bit.
And tomorrow, 1:30 for Pirates pregame, presented by WB Mason. The Pirates and the Cubs in the series finale.
The one thing that felt weird to me was, for whatever reason, it felt, man, two pretty hard hit balls, nothing to show for it.
Yeah, he stung it twice. That was a good play by Russell, who's been battling a hand concern. Didn't look like it there.
This is a bullet. One hopper.
He lined out to center hard last time. Look at it, 110 miles an hour.
I mean, that's part of the frustration. I mean, the Pirates struggling in these two games to score runs. 0 for 16 now with runners in scoring position, but there have been some hard hit balls. Atom balls.
Right, Adam.
And for me playing here, in the batter's box, for some strange reason, it felt like the pitcher's mound was 50 feet 6 inches. It felt like the pitcher was right on top of you.
I've heard basketball players talk about that in certain arenas where they feel like maybe it's the background is so expansive that you know, that there's harder to shoot or whatever. I mean, I guess the background, you know, this is what they have here. This is the batter's eye. This is what the background is, but there's just a different feeling.
Well, for me, it had nothing to do with the batter's eye. It had to do with like how close the fans were behind home plate. It just felt like, you know, the dugouts were so close to the plate. You got to the plate, it just felt like, for whatever reason, you were confined.
That's why they say,
jeez, nice play again. I mean, that ball looked like it was going to land in front of him.
yeah, they've hit the ball hard a few times today, but still just one hit to show for it. Here at Wrigley Field, still remembered 20 years after his passing. Ian Happ drives this one, but there's one out.
And a couple of hard hit balls by Cubs batters too. We talk about the Pirates hitting some hard hit balls. The Cubs hit some long fly balls with that little breeze blowing in that have held it, kept it in the ballpark.
Addison Russell will try his hand against Kingham, pitching into the 7th. 94 pitches.
A little peek down to third. I don't know if you noticed that, but he peeked down to third, and Nick Kingham immediately must have saw him peek down to third, because Nick Kingham said something to David Freese, or at least looked that way. Nice pitch there. Now, an 0-2 count. Don't have to worry about that.
Doesn't get the chase. Later innings, both pitchers have been very good today. Tommy LaStella moving into the on-deck circle for Leicester. He'll be done after 7 innings. Justin Wilson getting up for Chicago. Base hit for Russell. That's ends the string of 9 in a row sent down by Kingham. And Stephen Brault hitting up for the Pirates. Left-handed batting LaStella has just been announced. And Clint Hurdle with a shortened bench, with Cervelli leaving for precautionary matters, and Josh Harrison not with the club today for an excused personal matter. Bell is going to be out. Moran is going to be in, with Freese swinging over to first base. And Nick Kingham pitches into the 7th this afternoon. Had a hard luck first inning. Otherwise, he was darn good here today. Against a very hot Cubs offense today, and he cooled them off.
Really good. We got Contreras there with a high fastball. Russell on a changeup. Nice little breaking ball there to Bryant. The changeup again here with Kyle Schwarber. Out in front was Rizzo on that changeup. That's been his pitch today. I think the changeup was excellent. Kept him off balance, and really a shame. It should be 6 1/3 scoreless. but he did give up the 2 runs after the slip in left center by Marte. Great job by Nick Kingham.
25 of those 99 pitches were changeups today. Left on left, Stephen Brault facing the pinch hitter Tommy La Stella. He's been very good as a pinch hitter. 324 overall, 12 pinch hits. Between the wickets, and that allows Russell to advance. There goes a wild pitch.
It cost Michael McHenry $50, by the way, is Stephen Brault. His 17th appearance, 45 innings, 40 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just .222 against him. Co-leader in wins with 5.
And now 6 wild pitches. That leads the Pirates. He has taken care of lefties pretty well so far this year. As Brault. In both a starting role and out of the bullpen. Slugging just .225 against him so far. Now Nick Kingham can just watch.
Good slider there. Throw it in there like it looks like a strike. Have it break down and away. The hand, that looks like it's going to be in the zone, and it just runs away from the bat.
Good look on our Allegheny Health Network Super Bowl. With first base open, they'll bypass Chris Bryant. He's intentionally walked to get to another lefty. Jason Hayward. He hits .162 against left-handed pitching. Awarded a double back in the first. Now 2-0 on Hayward. The switch hitting Zobrist on deck. This is the guy, this is the matchup that the Pirates want here.
Yeah, and we'll see how they work them here. Behind the count 2-0. Good little slider right there for a strike and had him way out in front.
So Brault gets him out of it and keeps it a 2-run game. 2 in the first. That's been it. Nick Kingham goes 6 in the third today.
Excellent work, and nice job by Brault to strand his base runner out there.
Ian Happ has moved to left. And Albert Almora now in center field, part of the switch. With Justin Wilson now aboard.
2.45 ERA, 1-1, 26 games, about an inning per game. And that's the one thing about Justin Wilson, although he's going to face 2 lefties of the first 3 batters he faces. It's mostly fastball. So you're not very often going to see the ball run away from you as a left-handed batter. And gets ahead of Gregory Polanco with 2 fastballs.
Struck out on a 9-pitch at bat in the second, and then again on another sweeping breaking ball in the 5th inning. No foul real estate there. Happ made some great grabs yesterday, but he'd have to be one of those Inspector Gadget arms to make that kind of catch over there. That's a souvenir.
Boy, he hung one there, and again, it's not easy, and he didn't want to leave that breaking ball there. And Justin Wilson does not have the best command. And could be wild at times, in and out of the strike zone. Yeah, he definitely didn't want to hang a slider middle of the plate. 0-2.
Zobrist has the first out. Just one Pirates hit today. That was a 2-out triple by Meadows in the 3rd. Pirates had another scoring chance, first and second, with 1 out in the 2nd inning on back-to-back walks. Those have been the only 3 base runners today. Rodriguez has had some pretty pronounced platoon splits this season. He's in there today. Josh Harrison not with the ball club with an excused personal reason. He's happy.
Anytime you get a souvenir, you should be happy. That's great.
He brought his glove. That's the best. I'll be talking about that for a long time. Trying to get something going. Lester retired the final 13 men he faced. Steve Cishek, rubber-armed sidewinding righty.
Sean had a ball hard his last time up. Hoping that gets him right.
Wilson ahead 1-2. Strike call, and Rodriguez down on strikes for the 2nd time today.
Again, he could be a little bit wild, but this is right where he wanted to throw it. He just barely catches that inside edge. Sean thought it was off the plate, a very borderline pitch. And Wilson and the Cubs end up getting the call.
Wilson to Wilson Contreras, who framed that nicely. Colin Moran batting for the first time, came in on the double switch when Brault came in. Moran has handled lefties okay in his brief look at them, but lately he's seen them a lot. Pirates just beginning to regularly expose him to lefties.
Yeah, I mean, he's hit well enough to where deserving of the opportunities.
He broke up Walker's no-hitter in the ninth inning last week. Pirates being one hit so far today. Thought he had a home run yesterday, and then he knocked it down. And Wilson keeping down the Pirates. A 1-2-3-8. Still 2-0. T-shirt Friday. This Friday at 7:05, the first 20,000 fans through the gates take home this Pirates T-shirt. It's free thanks to Sheets, and it's a $1 dog night presented by Sugardale. Get your tickets at pirates.com/free shirt Friday. Free sunshine here at Wrigley Field. Didn't look that way. We had a dreary morning, and it has been a gorgeous afternoon. Stephen Brault trying to keep the Cubs at bay. The first two batters came around to score for the Cubs, and that has been it. And that was only because of that rain. Starling Marte slipped on the grass. I mean, you're limiting this Cubs club to 4 hits today, and they've been scoring 5.5 runs a game over the last month.
Two good pitching performances here.
And Brault excellently dispatching a couple of lefties in the 7th. Faces another here in Rizzo, who is hitless so far in the series. He came in scalding the ball too. It's just where the Pirates are at right now. You know, they're getting good pitching today. They've gotten some good pitching yesterday, and maybe the bats aren't there. The other couple of days, pitching wasn't there. Bats were there. Maybe a key play, a defensive miscue or something tilts the outcome.
Yeah, it's been a frustrating few weeks.
There is a silver lining in the sense, you know, they've lost 15 of 20. 8 of those games decided by 1 or 2 runs. Another 2-run game here today. So it's not like they're getting blown out every night. But still, a win is a win and a loss is a loss.
And again, that goes back to playing fundamentally sound baseball. We talked about that in that first inning. They had second and third, nobody out. They had to get me over ground ball, and they got me a get me in fly ball. They scored both their runs without a hit. Well, after they were on base. So they got 1 hit, a double after a hit batter, a grounder to second, a sacrifice fly. That's the difference in the game. You know, making the plays on defense. That's a nice play. That's a tough ball to pick right there. That ball coming up on David Freese, and he just stays with it, stays in front of it. A little bobble, no panic.
It's got time. Being right there at the bag. He's played a nice first base. He's playing it a little bit more lately.
Yeah, that ball's coming at you hot right there. Came up, got the heel of the glove. But you know, that's when you start talking about losing close games are determined by simple, and a lot of times one play here, one pitch there. You know, getting a bunt down, making a play on defense,
or not doing those things.
Exactly, and so there's always things you can pick out in just about every game, what you could have done differently.
And this is a pretty tight NL Central this year with the top 4 clubs. Just a little swing and bunt. Two-out single. Big swing. Didn't go very far.
Nothing you could do about that one. That ball got in on his hands. Dribbles out there.
Alrighty, Almora coming up. Brault doing a nice job. He'll be the bridge to Kyle Crick coming in. Still 2-0. In day games in the National League, and the Cubs near the top of that. Of course, they play a lot of day games, having Wrigley Field be their home. And right now they're up 2-0. 2 first-inning runs, holding up.
Crick has done good work since being called up from Indy. 2.66 ERA.
Looking to get Almora here, batting for the first time. Among the league leaders, hitting at .315. Pirates have the top of the order due up in the ninth. Mercer, Meadows, and Marte. If it gets there, Diaz would be due to bat fourth. Just past Moran. And Contreras will be held.
Fister, and this ball not hit real hard, just perfectly placed. And he gets in his first at bat. There's been a lot of hard hit balls going for outs today, and then Almora comes and hits a little jam shot grounder just inside the line, just under the glove of Colin Moran. And sometimes that could be a tough play to make down in that corner, and I think Austin Meadows did a nice job getting that in. We talked about there not being much foul ground down there and the padded wall. So Happ was intentionally walked, so the bases would be loaded.
Addison Russell 0 for 4 with the bases loaded this year.
Breaking ball there. Sharp. And Russell sitting dead red fastball. Missed it by a mile.
Popped him up. He wants it. Sean Rodriguez takes care of it. And Quick gets out of it. Cubs strand him loaded. Pirates' last chance coming up here in the ninth. Music from Spoon. Here in the ninth inning now, the Pirates trying to find 2 runs. There's some bizarre artwork.
Yeah, look at scary Harry Carey.
And some changes as Ben Zobrist moves out to left field. And Javier Baez now in the game at second base. Steve Cishek, not Brandon Morrow in there.
And the 195 ERA. He's done great work. 33 punch outs. Opponent sitting just 165.
He has been very good against righties, especially. They hit just 119 against him.
Wow, look at that pitch. Cishek and his catcher Contreras was like, why didn't you call this? It's a break.
Now it's even. Pirates have the lefty batting Meadows next. Trying to negate some of that look from the side armor. Hard hit. Running out. The Pirates have one hit today. It was a ripping triple into the right field corner by Austin Meadows. He came back in the third inning. They haven't had to change that since. If he can get aboard, the tying run comes up. Should get out of play.
It's amazing a guy like Cishek that can throw from down under and only throw the ball 90 miles an hour or so, how much harder it looks coming out of his hand, righties or lefties.
Gets the ball.
Wow. And again, when we talked about this earlier, I mean, there was a pitch down the middle that was caught on the backhand of a catcher, so he didn't call it a strike. Well, now, when you have a catcher reaching away like this, how do you call that a strike? Yeah, giveth and taketh away, I guess.
Eddings was among the least accurate at calling balls and strikes among the umpires last year. But the umpires get a huge majority of them right.
Oh yeah, I mean they're
almost all of them.
I mean they are. They're pretty good. I just, you know, the thing for me is like when you see that where the catcher doesn't catch it in front of his body, it's almost always called a ball.
Foul tip.
And just elevated. Contreras, this whole at bat was trying to get the ball in and up a bit on Meadows. Finally got one up.
$41,000 plus. Starling Marte, the last hope. If he can get on, the tying run comes up. But the Pirates haven't had a base runner since the third inning. He's down 2 strikes. Pirates have one more strike left. Just a bit outside.
Yep, don't typically have to see the catcher dive for balls. Watch him dive.
Just a setup pitch. Went away and then came back in.
So again, that 90-91 just gets on you. That late movement runs in on a righty, and that's why, you know, that slider. He'll get chases on that slider if he can start it in the middle of the plate, because you're worried about that two-seamer on your hands.
Popped him up. Can Hayward get there? Well, Baez just into the ball game. Did he hold on to it? Where's the ball? Yep, he's out. And the Pirates shut out on one hit here in Chicago.
Yeah, and who knows how long we'd be playing if it wasn't for the slip in center field back in the first, the bottom of the first, leading to both the Cubs wins. Tip your cap to both these starting pitchers. Both John Lester and Nick Kingham pitched great baseball. And
second straight day, a good play ends the game.
Momentum takes him in, but he wanted it. He called it as soon as it went up, and he knew he had enough room. And Pirates offensively, just one run in these two games.
So the Pirates try to get everything